Gabriel, thank you so much for joining us here in Barcelona.
Thank you.
It's been an exciting 5 years for your company, and particularly the last 2 years have been extraordinary. Obviously, tell me about that journey. What has it been like for you?
Well, definitely an incredible growth in the last 5 years. We started from scratch, like just me and Professor Altman, who founded WiserFunding 5 years ago. We really didn't think that things would have moved so quickly for us. And after 5 years, we are now 26 people and 70 clients across Europe and expanding quickly outside of Europe. So an incredible journey, and we keep growing really quickly. And so we're very pleased about where we are now.
And has that acceleration in your growth been exacerbated by the pandemic and the move towards digital solutions for people too?
Absolutely. I think in a certain way, everyone felt the uncertainty in the market, and that has driven a lot of interest around what we do, our solution. Lenders and investors, they all became more focused on risk and how to select the right companies to lend to or to invest on, and that has been definitely a good driver for our business.
So how can fintechs like yours now help, particularly the SMEs perhaps, to drive forward in a period of perhaps recovery, if we are seeing that going forward now?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, I think we're all conscious that the first signs of recovery have now fleeted, right? And so there are fears of inflation, there are fears of labor shortage across Europe, so all the positive signs are now disappearing. Obviously, SMEs are always the first to suffer. The efficiency of the market is so important, so their access to funding remains absolutely critical. The way we help this at WiserFunding is by providing tools that can help lenders and investors to understand what's the resilience of the company and understand where to allocate funds efficiently. So that's really how we help SMEs.
That's how you help. What would you say to those leaders in those companies about what they need to be wary of in this climate in terms of who they choose to work with?
Well, obviously, we have seen an unprecedented level of government support through the last years, and that basically drove a lot of life support to companies that probably in normal conditions would have disappeared. So at this point, probably one of the biggest worries for a lot of lenders and investors is to select companies that really have chances to succeed going forward. A new business model, a new normal, we used to say, right, with a post-pandemic era, and definitely we can help in that selection.
And how does data play into all of that in terms of, supporting that lending in 2022?
Well, I think we all know data is the new oil, right? And there's a lot of data around us. Sometimes this data is great. In a digital era, having access to so many data is actually really important for everyone, but sometimes can also be confusing. When it's too much, you may need to hire too many people to process all this data, and you're going probably in the wrong direction. So what we do at WiserFunding is actually processing a very large amount of data, but providing clients actionable insights that can really drive better and faster decisions.
So in terms of your final message, if you like, the conversations you're having with CROs and leaders here, what would you like them to take away from having had a conversation with you here this week?
Well, definitely that is an exciting time as well as an uncertain time. And so we can help them to understand the way forward and how to best allocate their funds in a moment where SMEs need their support the most. So that's probably the most important message.
Gabriel, thank you very much for sharing that message. Great to talk to you.
Thank you.